Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Blaise XPerience once again. You are joining us for episode 92 today. I'm your host Derreck as always, and we are coming back for some more State of Decay 2 content. So today we're actually going to talk about the new bounty system of State of Decay. As we said in our last episode, we're going to talk about it more in depth today. Our last episode going over the patch notes with Jeffrey, we spent a brief amount of time on this, but today we're going to talk about all the weapons and how you get them, and a little bit more about Cash and kind of how the bounty system works. So that's kind of what we have in store today, but as always, for some news at the top of the show here, I do want to announce officially, I did announce it before, but I will announce it again today, that this is going to be our last episode just for a little while. I'm taking a 10-day break. I'm going to return to making content in 10 days. So basically, you're going to hear this on August 10th. I will be returning to making content on Tuesday, August 20th. So basically, I'm going to have no streaming and no podcasting for those 10 days, just so I can kind of take a break and rejuvenate, recoup a little bit. But once August 20th hits, we're going to be back to making content, hit the ground running again. And our next stream will be Tuesday, August 20th. I will be playing some State of Decay from 12 to 4 Eastern on Mixer.com/Blaise XPerience. And then the next podcast is going to be Saturday, August 24th. I'm hoping it's going to be a State of Decay 2 episode, but I'm having some scheduling issues with the potential guests I'm trying to get on for that. So if worst case scenario, I would probably just do it on a different game instead. But I'm hoping it's going to be another State of Decay episode for that one. But August 24th, we will have some kind of episode. But in the meantime, while I'm on break, you can always just jump in my Discord, which will be in the show notes, and kind of talk with me, because I will still be on Discord during the break, and for at least most of it. There's only going to be next weekend. I am actually going to be away for the weekend, but besides next weekend, I'll be on Discord for the whole break, basically. And you can also head over to my Patreon, and if you want to support me on Patreon, that's patreon.com/Blaise XPerience. If you become a $5 Patreon member, then you get access to the bonus episodes of the podcast that I do as well. So I have some bonus episodes there you can listen to and enjoy those as well. But without further ado, we do have a guest here with us today. He is someone that's been in the State of Decay community a long time. He's put a lot of hours in State of Decay, and he's definitely got a lot of enjoyment out of the game. He actually has a Easter egg in the game where he's basically named in the game. Please welcome Peddler to the show. How are you, Peddler?
I'm doing good, Blaise. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for coming on today.
Oh, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm actually glad you asked me to do it. So,
Yeah, I wanted to have you on because I thought you'd be a good guest, and it's nice to have you here the first time. So,
right. Yeah, I don't do too many podcasts, but for one like this for you, I don't mind a bit to try to knock out this technical issues and all the other issues
yes,
I have with life.
We figured
today.
it out, though.
Yeah, we got it down, man.
Exactly.
Took me a minute. I mean, it wasn't nothing on your end. I mean, it's just me. So it was typical.
Well, your wife helped out, so thank you for her.
Yeah. Shouts out to my wife. I looked for an hour trying to find the right mic and headphones, and she looks for 5 minutes maybe. Plug something in. It's like, here, use this. And I'm like, okay, thanks, hon. Love you too. Bye.
Exactly.
So yeah. Shout out to her for hooking us up, because I'd still probably
That's what wives are for, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and other things. So
But yeah. So, how have you enjoyed the first year of State of Decay content? Because we just had the year anniversary of State of Decay 2 recently, and I know you're part of the tribute video for that. So, how have you enjoyed the first year of content for it?
Love it, and thanks for letting me be a part of the tribute video. It was an honor, trying to do that, and that was a good hats off to Undead Labs. So yeah, that was a good thumbs up in your court, man. That was a good piece of work you did.
Thank you.
As far as the first year, dude, I've loved it so far. Don't have really anything bad to say about it. I really liked when they did the DLC for the old map.
Heartland?
Yeah.
And Heartland's awesome.
I really enjoyed it, man. You could see how far they'd come from the original Xbox 360 up to the year one, and then all of a sudden, excuse me, we're getting it on the Xbox X, and just see how far Undead Labs has grown, over the years, and the work. I mean, because it was. I mean, in my opinion, it was. It was just it was a great DLC, and you could see how much they'd been able to progress over the years. And a year in, man. I can't say enough about it. I could go on for hours, or ramble and ramble and ramble. But I really think the first year they're right where they need to be. You're going to have both sides that aren't happy. You've got one, oh, I want this, and then, you've got the people that'll appreciate of where it started and, where it's at now. And I think it's at a great place, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And, the thing I always say to people too is that basically everything the community asked for, they give to us. So pretty much once Daybreak was done, that was like their commitments they had to make before the game launched. So that commitment ended. They made Daybreak like they were supposed to. And then basically after that, everything that's come out after that is all stuff the community wanted. We had Crossbows come out in Zed Hunter. We had the new difficulty update coming out with Choose Your Own Apocalypse, where you have like Nightmare and Dread Zone and stuff like that. You had Heartland come out. People wanted to go back to Trumbull. They wanted to go see some more story. We have this Bounty Broker update where it has some new challenges and bounties involved. Like everything the community wants has been, on their hit list, and they just keep knocking it out.
All I can say is preach, man. It's right there in front of you. Just like you said, everything that the community has asked for, they've made it happen. And I don't see other companies out there doing that. They're staying true to what they say. It may not be exactly what Joe or Sally wanted, but they're knocking the ball out of the park every time. And
right, I agree.
It's really easy to follow a community like that, and a company like that. I'm sorry, even though they're a smaller company, they are staying true to what they say, and they're bringing content at, in my opinion, is an unreal pace for the size of company that they are. I just can't say enough good things about Undead Labs. So
no, I agree completely. And you talk about the pace, and I agree that the pace is awesome too. Because we just got Choose Your Own Apocalypse fairly recently, and then they come out with Heartland. And then right after Heartland, we get the bounty update. Like so.
Jeez, yeah. I'm not saying slow down because I love it, but
exactly.
They're just bringing content after content, and it's easy for me to follow a game like this. And I do want to say I'm still very humbled to be a part of a game like this. It's a country boy's dream. The things that they done for the Easter eggs for us in the game, all of us in the game, is just hands down. I'd love to work for a company like that, that follows through with what they say and has a community. It's just, I don't have enough good things to say. I could ramble and ramble and ramble. So,
which I actually got an Easter egg in the game now too. I don't know if you noticed.
What'd you get?
In Heartland, if you go to the gun shop in Heartland, I'm on the side of the building. It says Blaise XPerience.
No kidding. I'm going to have to check it out, man. Yep. I'm going to have to check it out. I always look for
Blaise XP.
Blaise XP. Good deal. Yep. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. It was really cool to see it. So if you go to either one of the gun shops, the one up at the bottom of the map or the top of the map, either one of them you'll see on the side of the building.
And the thing is, everybody goes to the gun shop because you have to have that outpost. You have to have you have to have the gun outpost, so they're going to go, they're going to go see Blaise XPerience. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, they have a lot of people actually on the side of that. So if you look at the side of it, you're going to see a lot of people you might recognize. They have like K-Sizzle there. They have Mr. Darth's on there. I know Fallout Girl's on there, Rabbit. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of different streamers and people in the community are on the side of that building.
See, I would love them to throw something out for Decay Fest. Because y'all put a lot of work into that, and there was a lot of hard work put into that, and that was something that you done with your own time, wasn't it?
Yes.
See, stuff like that is just, and I don't remember when I was talking about Decay Fest, but I wanted to be a part of Decay Fest, but the pause button and all the streaming issues and other stuff like that. But man, that was a great thing that you did. And I just want to say I know we're recording now, hat comes off to you for doing Decay Fest, man. That was a great thing you did.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, the team I had, they put in a lot of effort too. So, I mean, it was definitely great to start all that back in September and, keep it running. So we did 9 events so far. So
I had I was cooking barbecue, and whenever Decay Fest was on through the weekends, I've got like a period of time where I don't have to check my barbecue, and I come back in, and even instead of playing, I'd watch Decay Fest, through the day, and try to interact on chat. But I never hooked my laptop up, so the times I'd be typing, I'd actually be using an Xbox controller, trying to talk on chat, hitting A, and then scroll over and hit B and whatever else. And I never would use my laptop to chat. And I was like, I'm trying to use a controller to chat on Decay Fest. It was like, oh God. But
yeah, I've done that before. It's difficult. You can do it though. It just takes a little longer.
It takes a little longer, and you're like 3 lines down on chat, and they're like, huh? And like, okay. Like, dude, do I just need to watch Decay Fest, or do I just need to try to say hi? And when I see people say, hey Blaise, or, hey, whoever else was, streaming Decay Fest. But my hat does come off to you for that, man. That was a great thing you did for the community. Really cool.
Well, thank you. I'm always trying to do, whatever I can for the community, and, I can't say too much about it yet, but I have another project I'm working on next. So,
no kidding.
Yep.
Oh man, that's great. See, what other community does stuff like that? And you're already working on something else, dude. That's awesome, man. I'm glad I'm a part of a community like this.
Yeah, it's going to be a little while before I get it finished, but when it is finished, hopefully the community will enjoy it. So.
And they will, man. I mean, everybody enjoyed Decay Fest. I mean, it was a great thing that you did for the community, and like I said, I wish I could be a part of it, but I have to have that pause button right now in my life because the dog barks.
But I mean, just viewing it, you're still a part of it. So
but you know what I mean. I wanted to contribute, but I don't want to. Like I said earlier, I didn't want to say, "Hey, Blaise, I want to be a part of this," and then have to pause and do all this other stuff and go check this, and the dog needs to go out, and the son needs a snack, and so. But it's a great thing you did, man. Hat comes off to you for it, man. It's a good thing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I definitely appreciate the work the team put in as well. And together we made some great events. So it was a lot of fun.
Who else besides you was rolling that? I mean, like your compadre, or who else was helping you with
that? It kind of varied basically throughout the events, but like early on, it was myself and Mr. Dart, and then K Sizzle kind of came on, and then Fall Down and ML Mars came on as well. So basically, by the end of it, there was 5 of us.
Dude, that's awesome. Tell him I said hi and thank you, because I mean, it was a good thing. It was a good thing. While we're right in the middle of the stream, can I say thanks to somebody right quick?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Way back in Xbox 360 days, there was a man by the name of AKA Scratch. He told me 2 weeks before State of Decay came out, he's like, "Hey, Peddler, there's going to be something that you want to check out, and to check this game out." And if it wasn't for Scratch, I would have never, well, I mean, I probably would have looked at it eventually, but Scratch told me, you need to check this game out, and I fell in love ever since. So thanks to Scratch, thanks to all the people overseas, Big Red, Zombie Kitty, EB, all the guys that were streaming State of Decay breakdown back in the day that I learned from, Sailor Wolf, for teaching me about edged weapons, and actually not holding back, actually going in with edged weapons and taking the stuff out military style. Thanks, Sailor. E5 Futter? E5? Anyway, I got the game with him not too long ago. He was in, he had the pie. Do you remember the pie in the original State of Decay that we got later on?
I believe so, yeah.
Instead of snacks, we got pie. That was from a user named E5 Futter, and I apologize if I butchered that name because I probably did. But they made pie out and the stamina lasted longer. So thanks to all y'all for getting me where I'm at in the game today. So.
Okay. I'm sure if any of them hear this, they will definitely appreciate that. So.
Oh, I'm going to make sure they hear
it. Awesome.
All right. So,
but we did say we are here to talk about the bounty broker, so
yes.
We should start getting into that. So,
Cash Beaumont.
Yep. So Cash Beaumont is a new trader that came to State of Decay, and basically he's a trader that has bounties where you can get different types of weapons right now, but in the future there might be other things you can get too. We never know, but it's possible that, maybe down the road, like maybe 6 months from now, Cash has, okay, here's a new car for you. Go do this for me. You get a new car. We'll see what happens, but, maybe something like that could happen in the future. But, basically, right now, Cash has a bunch of bounties you can do to get the new critical response weapons. These are police and firefighter weapons, basically, that are, critical responder weapons that get used, and that's kind of what the pack is centered on. But in addition to that, he also sells the World War II weapons. So basically how Cash works is he sells the World War II weapons for influence. So any of those that you didn't find yet, you can just go buy them off of Cash for influence. But the critical response weapons, you have to actually do little tasks for him in order to get them. So we're going to get into those tasks after when we talk about all the weapons. But basically, just for an example of one of them, if you run over 50 zombies, you get one of the weapons, for example.
Yep. I ran over 50. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, that's the ones kind of, that most people get. That's probably the one that you usually start out with, and then, it's not that bad to get that one.
I actually like going the blunt weapons, the Military Riot Club, Metal Nightstick, and Police Riot Club. I found myself using edged weapons a lot, and actually making me use the blunt weapons to, achieve the killing 60 Zeds with a blunt weapon, and the killing 10 hordes, and I really enjoyed that because I lost track on blunt weapons, and I went straight edged. And with trying to do the bounty broker missions for Cash, it brought me back to using blunt weapons again. And I've always used blunt weapons. Well, I'm not going to say I always use blunt weapons, but you kind of get into your style of characters,
how you play and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And having to do those achievements, I mean, it really brought a older aspect back to me of playing the game, and I just lost focus on blunt weapons, so I was glad to use them to get those 4 melee weapons for bounty broker.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too, because I'm more of a bladed guy myself, so I end up using a lot of bladed weapons most of the time, but sometimes blunt weapons are great too. And what I like about blunt weapons too is if you're, having a horde of zombies around you, sometimes that's actually better because you can just knock them all down and run away. So
yep.
In that case, it's a lot better actually.
When you set your character up, which I have certain characters that I use blunt on, and I have certain characters I build them,
right.
Well, you can only build them so far. I mean, if they've got the trait, you can't. You know what I mean? You can't if you go into the striking and they automatically make you into blunt, you can't kind of build that character the way you want to. But I had my edged weapon characters and I had my blunt weapon characters, and it was really good to go back and revisit that. And because, like I said, I was streamlined into edged weapons, and of course, I guess playing, which style did you play, or which level did you play? Did you play normal or dread or nightmare, or which did you find more comfortable to play?
I usually play nightmare now. I played nightmare for all of these bounties and got them all in nightmare, but
congratulations, man! That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it makes it a little bit more challenging doing that, but I have played a lot in standard, obviously, because that's all we had for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Dread is the one I played the least, just because I play on standard for certain reasons, like maybe for Undead Trials event or something like that. But
sure.
Nightmare is the one I mainly play on now. I did play on Dread in Undead Trials 4 because that was part of the requirement there. We did some speed running there, and
dude, that was awesome. I got to watch some of that, dude. That was some good content you put out on those speed runs. Dude, that was some really good content. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I actually learned a lot on how to do the different, the sheriff and to
Trade
try
legacy?
to try to
Yeah.
streamline that, dude. That was some great content y'all put out on that. Thanks for
Yeah,
doing
thank you. We were definitely my team was definitely stressed out, but we made it through. So
Dude, to be honest, I never seen the stress. Well, let me rephrase that. Some of it, but not like, when you say stress, I was like, really? I mean, I thought y'all did a great job on that.
well, thank you. I mean, we were up against some great competition. Fall Down had Scarproof and Jawa on his team, so definitely a tough team to beat for sure. And we ended up pulling it out. So
hats off to you for doing that, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I wouldn't be able to do it with my teammates though. Coconut Kid and Zombie, they're awesome teammates, and
I don't know Coconut Kid. Who's Coconut Kid?
Coconut Kid is in the Undead Labs Discord. He's one of the leaders or moderators with me.
Dude, I've never him or her.
Him.
Never met him. I might have to look it up.
Yeah, you should. He's a great guy.
But it depends on my day. Like if I'm having like a really bad day and I just want to mow through zombies, I go straight into normal mode. If I want the challenge, then I jump into nightmare. And I did all the bounty broker stuff in regular, just for the way that life's been right now. I wanted like the easy peasy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nothing
wrong with that.
Don't worry about my characters dying. Right. Which, I mean, it still gets hairy. Don't get me wrong, but normal mode is, once you break, there's a plateau there of when you start a new community, things are really rough. And then once you kind of break that hump, then all of a sudden, okay, I can kind of breathe a little bit moment, during the game. And Nightmare doesn't give you that. And I did get all the achievements for the legacies in, Nightmare. Let me rephrase that. I did 3 of them in Nightmare and then wasn't paying attention, and I was trying to just...
One of them in Dread?
Yep, did one of them in Dread, because I had, I used the, not the trader, the builder kind of legacy cheat where you can cycle characters. You clear out all the plague hearts, and you can... At the third, there's like the second mission where 3 people show up and you can choose those 3 people or,
oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I do use that. And I had cycled, a really good group. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get them into my pool. And I was on Dread and wasn't thinking, finished the legacy, and then boom, I busted the achievement. I've got 3 in, Nightmare and then 1 in Dread, so.
Hey, that still knocks the achievement out, though. So, hats off to you for that.
It does, but I kind of feel like...
It's definitely a tough achievement to get, so...
I feel like I cheated myself, But, yeah, it is... And I got the characters in my pool, so I was good, Dude, it was a good run, too. No negativities whatsoever. It was awesome. It was a good group.
Yeah, I have some really good guys in my group, too, so... I have this one girl that I love using close combat on. She's awesome with it.
Dude, is close combat not the best? It's really an overlooked. Yeah. It's really an overlooked thing.
Not many people seem to use it, but I really like using it. Honestly,
I do. Really cool I do too, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. They're so fast with close combat on.
Dude, there was actually, as far as like the Cash Beaumont stuff, we got a new knife for the bounty broker, didn't we? For the melee.
Yeah, we have some new knives, so we'll get into that when we talk about the CQC. Yeah, yep, we have 2 new knives. So, but before we get into that, though, just a couple more things on Cash, real quick. I do want to mention that anyone that likes to play multiplayer, you can earn these bounties in multiplayer as well, and you receive your bounty rewards in someone else's game. So, like, say you were in my game, you could actually earn credit for your bounties in my game, and then you could get your rewards from Cash in my game. So that is nice that they put that in there.
I didn't know that, actually. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So it helps with playing with your friends.
The ones that I've got, the community that I was running the bounty broker, and I've not done the plague achievements yet. And that's good to know. Like for the Riot Club, you have to kill 100 plague Zeds in melee. I'd already, the the community that I'm running, I'd already killed all the plague hearts in, so my volume of plague zombies is null. So that's good to know. I can get
that makes sense. Yeah,
I can get the military riot club, the blunt one, in somebody else's, or at least start it anyway.
Yeah, which is definitely handy because it's nice to play it with friends. I got most of mine actually playing with friends, so
good deal, man. See, I always want to play the multiplayer, but I need, like I said earlier, I need that pause button because the dog needs to go out or my son needs a snack.
Right.
Or, I mean, I'm like at a 30-minute interval right now in my life where every 30 minutes I've got to pause and go do something. And, that's
you're staying busy though, so that's good.
It is, but I mean, when Undead Labs brought the online part, I mean, that was the big thing to, play with other people. And now, unfortunately, when I had all that time, I'm at a point now where I have to use the pause button. Like, geez. So.
But, at least it's still there for you, so.
It is. And, I'm glad that they did that too, that it's not like strictly online or not strictly offline. They gave us that option. We wanted it early in, the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One or Year One edition. And, they gave it to us. So hats off to them for that.
Absolutely. And, hats off to them for this Bounty Broker update too, because,
a
couple other things on Cash real quick. Yeah, it is free. And speaking of free, with Cash, you can get one free copy of the particular item that you do a bounty for, and then you can always buy more from them, actually. So basically, when you do a bounty, say you did the 50 Zeds with a car one, you get one free copy of that item, but then you can always buy more. So I really like that you can actually buy more as well. So in case you want, I want 2 of these things, you can buy 2. So that's really nice too. And I do want to mention as well that Cash will always be located on the map in a central location for each map. So he's always going to be there. He's always going to stay on the map. So he's not going to be a trader that goes away. So no one has to worry about that. And
he looks cool too. Have you noticed?
He does, yeah. He changes clothes all the time too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, man. That whoever come up with his clothes outfit, hats off to y'all, man. That he's pimp tight.
I like his truck too. His truck is really cool.
It is. It's got the lights outside, and you kind of drive up at night and you kind of see the lights glowing. All of a sudden you come around the corner and this dude's got this flashy jacket. It's like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. Oh snap. This dude's, he's got his gear on. I mean, he looks good. I was impressed with that, whoever done that. So.
And it's funny when there's zombies around him too, because he can't be attacked or killed. So basically, when zombies are around him, they just go for you, and Cash just sits there like, "What are you doing, dude?"
It's like, dude, I'm above that now. Go ahead and handle my business.
You take care of that for me. I'm just gonna sit here and watch you.
I got your guns and knives and your blunt weapons. Just handle my business. I'll be right here for you.
Yeah, I mean, this one time I had like a giant horde chasing me right by Cash, and I had to get up in my truck real quick, and Cash is just sitting there like, "Oh, that's a nice horde you got there."
Yeah. let me get my phone out and take a picture of Blaise taking these zombies out, and I'll post it on my social media. Go ahead and handle that, Blaise.
Maybe it'll sell some more guns that way.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, he did this with one of my guns. See?
Yeah. That's my gear he's using right there. People, come buy my gear.
Exactly. It's all in the gear.
So what did you think about the some of the gear that Cash Beaumont gave us?
I thought the gear was really awesome. Some of the weapons I haven't had to try out a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Full disclosure, I technically have them all, but some of them I just haven't had time to try out a lot. But the ones I have tried out, I've really enjoyed. Obviously, the CQC weapons, they don't do anything different per se, but they have some cool looks to them. You mentioned the police knife looks really cool, and the rescue knife actually looks really cool too. It's like a really big knife, especially for a CQC weapon. It's a really big knife, and that one you actually get by achieving 60 CQC kills. So that's like the firefighter knife. And the police knife, which we talked about, that one you get by running over 50 zombies with cars. So I'm not sure which one you prefer out of those two, but I think the rescue knife is a little bit different, and I kind of prefer it for that, just because it's something different that you don't usually see in a CQC weapon.
I do. The rescue knife is actually, out of the two, is the one that I like the most. I'm actually a karambit guy, so even though I got
those two, yeah.
Even though I got the 60 C kills and the police knife for running over the 50 zombies, I'm a karambit guy because I actually carry a karambit on me daily. I don't leave home without it. I don't know who over there knows about a Crombit knife, but somebody did, and I was floored. And I was like, oh my gosh, they've got a Crombit knife. I trained martial arts for the 9-ish, 10-ish years, and we trained with Crombits. And it's an Indonesian fighting art. And when I saw the Crombit, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have it. Side note, I do run an Emerson Crombit. Love it. Emerson, great job on them knives, man. So, sorry. Side note.
No, that's fine, yeah.
Shout out to Ernest Emerson, Navy SEAL, for making the Crombit, and love it. But when I saw the Crombit, I had to have it. All my guys running Crombits. Even though I like the CQC weapons, the rescue knife's the one I like the most out of those. So.
Yeah, I like the Crombit too, and I like these two new ones. So I kind of vary between those at the moment, but one of the ones I did use for a while too, which I'm sure you got a kick out of, was the barbecue fork. I like using the barbecue forks for that stuff.
Dude, is that thing? All right. Side note, Brant, thank you. The spatula, talking about the Independence Pack
yes.
for the barbecue fork. They put a Easter egg for my wife, because wife cooks with me. She runs a lot of hours at the hospital, and the times that she is here, we cook a lot. I mean, you can see the pictures. We barbecue from the time we get up, or if we start talking trash to each other, boom, we're cooking. We got throwing the charcoal on, throwing barbecue down. Brant put the spatula, the edged weapon, the barbecue spats, or the...
yeah, I know, yep.
It's got my wife's name on it.
Oh, does it? That's
cool.
Yeah,
it's got a Cat Serious Barbecue on it, so thanks out to Brant Fitzgerald and Undead Labs for putting that for my wife, man.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a great move. Of course, she's a lot better cook than me, noted wife. You're a lot better cook than I am.
So is my wife, so...
Except for barbecue, honey. You can't touch me. Sorry.
Well, if she listens after, she'll have to get back to you.
I'll deny it all.
Exactly.
So we got some ranged weapons here, or do we want to go into melees?
No, we can go to the range next. I'm fine out of the way. So, the range, we have some really interesting pistols that came out. So we can start with the pistols. We had the G34, which this one is a 9mm pistol. It has a 17-round clip to it, and is achieved by 120 kills in combat. So this one's not too difficult to get. Basically, it just means, you have to fight 120 zombies in combat. So pretty much anything besides range will get you those kills. And the other one that we have for a pistol is the G26, which is a 9mm pistol as well. This one has 10 rounds in it, and this one's achieved by killing 9 bloaters with pistols. Technically, if you want to call it a pistol, I consider it something different a little bit, but there is a revolver as well, which is the backup Bossy, and this is a 9mm as well, has a 7-round mag, and it's achieved by killing 100 zombies with revolvers. So, out of these, I kind of like the Bossy, just because of the look of it and the feel of it. I think it's probably the coolest out of the three, personally, but I haven't used the G26 a lot, so I don't know much about the G26 yet.
I like the Bossy, actually. 9mm, seven rounds in the mag. I actually like the achievement part of it, killing the 100 zombies with revolvers.
I was going to say that too. Yeah, that's the most fun one to get, because
it is.
Most people don't use revolvers a ton in the game, so killing 100 zombies with revolvers, that was kind of fun to do, actually.
They made me go back, Undead Labs made me go back and use a revolver, and I was like, dude, it's actually a lot of fun doing this.
It was,
and, I was normally a 7.62 guy, and, when they made me go back and use revolvers, I was like, dude, this is a lot of fun. And it brought another, another hour, two, whatever it takes you to, get the backup Bossy revolver. It brought another element of funness to the game, if that's a word.
It is now, so.
I enjoyed it, man. I mean, it was a great achievement, and I'm glad they're doing stuff like that. Because, I mean,
Agreed.
Like you said, you don't really pick up a revolver that much unless you're at the point first building your community up. Once you break that plateau,
right,
you don't really go back to revolvers that much.
Yeah, the only other time is like if you're really desperate, like your gun breaks, you search containers, like, oh, here's a revolver. Quick, I have a weapon.
Grab it.
Like, if you're really desperate, okay, here's a weapon.
Besides that one, the Tassie Devil, rest in peace.
That was good, yeah. That's the best revolver in the game.
Rest in peace, girl. He was a good SOD player. Hat comes off to you. That was always my favorite revolver, was the Tasty Devil. She was a good person in the community.
Yeah, and it's the best revolver in the game too. So I'm glad that she got a really good one.
Yep, that was a good shout out to her because she was a good player. Have we mentioned Big Ed, or were we recording when I was talking about Big Ed?
I think you mentioned him in your shout outs before.
Okay, yep. Hats off to Big Ed. Love you, man. All right. What else we got?
Well, before we talk about any of the weapons, I just want to give a shout out actually to the team that helped me with this, because I did mention that I did a lot of this in multiplayer. Basically, I did 3 of these in solo, and then on Tuesday, in a 4-hour stream, I got all the other weapons with a 4-person team. So
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, in 4 hours, we knocked them all out together. So
who was you gaming with?
So I was with Zombie Killer Ma, who is also my Undead Trials partner. I was with Danger. Danger helped us out too. And then Core 88, who is one of my mods for my stream. And then at the very end, Danger and Core had to go, but the Degenerate came in, and Degenerate kind of gave us our last play card we needed, because the play card won. Unfortunately, my map only had 11 plague parts, and you need 12 for the challenge. So, he came in, and we went into his map, and we killed one of his maps.
Oh, so that's good. That's good.
I'm glad he helped us out. So.
Hey, listen, when y'all run Decay Fest, do you have like a set pattern that y'all do for Decay? This is way off. I'm not talking about Cash Beaumont or anything like that. Do y'all have like a set pattern that you do whenever you run Nightmare on Decay Fest? Since these are the guys that you do your stuff with, do you have like a pattern? Like if you come up on a play card in Nightmare, this is what this guy does or she does, and execute it like that? I mean, is it like execution style, or do you have to talk about it? Or is it like an unwritten rule?
I think everyone has their own styles kind of thing, but if you're talking speed runs, I think the speed runs are where you're going to find more of the, set in stone styles, because, for example, my team for Undead Trials 4, we had to do a speed run in Dread, and we knocked out our Dread speed run in an hour and 1 minute, and basically we only were able to do that because we practiced our strategy beforehand. So we kind of figured out our strategy. We had a set strategy, and we went all the way around Meager, took out the play cards, as quick as possible, and got the Trader Legacy done. So we had a set strategy. I think it at least showed that we had a strategy. I don't know how good at executing we were, but we were decent enough, I guess. But
I mean, you pulled it off in an hour and 1 minute, or how many?
Yeah, an hour and 1 minute. But I just know there was a lot of mistakes in that run too, though. So I know we could have had a much better time because we made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, but dude, do you know what you accomplished right there, or what y'all accomplished right there? I mean, I'm a State of Decay player. When I see somebody, put that type of dedication into it, I mean, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, well, we had to, because, Fall Down, Scarproof, and Jawa, they did it in an hour and 4 minutes. So, we had to go fast. So.
I've not got the game.
Barely beat him.
Scarproof, but I've heard that dude can throw down on the sticks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he's played the game more than anyone I've ever met. He's played almost 200 days in game. Like, actually, not like State of Decay game, like a real life game. So 200 days real life.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So he's played more than anyone I've ever met.
I did, on the original, spanning over from the Xbox 360 over to Yosh, was running 5,000 hours. But that's the Xbox 360 over to the Xbox One. It was roughly, we counted it up, it was like 5,000 hours.
Dang, that's some solid time too.
Yeah.
That would rival him for sure.
Well, I mean, like I said though, but the game's not, the State of Decay 2's not been out long enough to do.
Right, exactly.
So,
to have that,
I mean, yeah. But it's, like I said, or like we said earlier, Undead Labs keeps dropping content, like the Cash Beaumont, the Bounty Broker, content. If they keep producing content like this, dude, dude, we could push some hours like that. But it was the old game was over 2 consoles. So you had the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. So.
Well, I know they plan on continuing the game as long as possible. So,
Dude, I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited.
And, I mean, obviously nothing's been confirmed, so this is just me speculating, but I think there's like 100% chance we get a State of Decay 3 at some point. Like I think since they're owned by Microsoft now, it has to happen at some point. I would think.
I agree, man. They're let me rephrase that. I don't, like you said, both, we're just speculating, and this is just us talking on a podcast. Whether it's called State of Decay 3 or there'll be another game like State of Decay, whether it has the same name. There was, before the original State of Decay, it was called, do you remember what the original game was called before it was released, or the file name?
I don't know.
I used to talk about it on the forums, and oh God, I just went brain dead. Oh, I feel so stupid now. Regardless, the State of Decay 1 wasn't even called State of Decay. It was, oh gosh. Regardless, there was another name for it. And, that's whenever they were talking about it on forums, pre-State of Decay 1, it was called something else. So whether State of Decay 3 is called something else, I believe it'll be in the lines of what the community wants for what we would call a State of Decay 3. So,
yeah, and I will say, for my mileage too, I don't even think we need a State of Decay 3X. I mean, everything they're doing for State of Decay 2, I'm still happy with it. So,
oh yeah,
they can take another 3, 4, whatever, how many years. Like, take as long as you want. Because right now, I'm happy with State of Decay 2, and they keep putting out great content for that. So, I don't need a State of Decay 3 for a long time. I'm just saying, I think it's going to happen at some point.
Oh, I agree, man. I think it will too. I don't really. When I was, which I don't even know. I guess I can say it now. When they released State of Decay 1, it was not what they wanted. Okay? You had restrictions as far as the Xbox 360, as far as like the download content. Microsoft puts a restriction on their arcade games. So the file size can only be so big. When State of Decay 2 was released, it was said that's what they wanted. State of Decay 2 is what they wanted State of Decay 1 to be. But as far as the restrictions go, as far as like the arcade version, we're talking Xbox 360, that's what they wanted State of Decay 1 to be like. And the restrictions, it just wasn't going to happen. And so we got State of Decay 2, and I think it's a masterpiece, really. I mean, if you're into the survival zombie types, dude, it's hands down the best game out there.
Agreed.
And they keep producing content.
Easily
like,
best zombie game too.
Yeah, and they keep producing the content, like we're on here talking about, the Bounty Broker. It's free. It's free content.
Yeah, and
we get free weapons
with that too, so we can get back to the range weapons. I mean, some of the range weapons we didn't talk about yet. We have a couple of great rifles, and 2 of those are the police sniper rifle. This is a 5.56 gun. It's honestly, this is my fault. The picture I took of it was blurry, so I couldn't tell what size the mag was. I apologize on that,
30.
people, but I can't. 30? Okay, I wasn't sure of that.
So wait. There's one that's 22. There's one that's 22 rounds. And
maybe it's that one then. So I know it's at least 20, I believe. So it's between 20 and 30, but the mag is somewhere around that size. But this one you get by achieving 200 stealth kills. This is an interesting one to do, but before we get into talking about that real quick, the other rifle that we have is the RC9 Police Carbine, which is a 9mm, and this is a 17-round mag, and this one you achieve by killing 12 streamers with rifles. And personally, I like the challenge of the Police Sniper Rifle better for killing the 200 dead stealth kill, but I actually like the RC9 Carbine better as a gun, because I don't know if you heard the sound of it, but the sound of that is so amazing. Like, I just love what the sound team did with that gun. The sound is so amazing, and I really love how that gun shoots.
I agree, man. The reason why I lean more toward versus the sound, I'm 5.56, 7.62 round dude. So whenever I go out, I want the biggest millimeter gun I can get versus your weight wise on your character. But if
that makes sense.
If I could put like the sound, which when they do the ranged weapons and stuff like that. I honestly think, like what you're saying, the sound on the R9 carbine, if I could put it on the police sniper rifle, the 5.56, I'd like it better. But I like that power, man. The achievement was good though. I mean, I always like killing screamers. But the stealth kill one for the police sniper rifle, dude, I have not killed, and I went ahead and got this one. Loved the stealth kills, and I would have never done 200 if they hadn't made me. And
I agree, yeah.
It was
honestly,
a blast.
I don't even know before this challenge. I'm not even sure if I did 200 stealth kills my entire time playing State of Decay. Like, I don't stealth kill a lot. So, like, this is probably the first time I've done 200 kills, stealth kills.
Normally, like, when I go in on Nightmare, I go in, I mean, guns blazing, and I'll sit there and melee, and then I'll start to snipe the outside perimeter until I, take the volume of zombies down. And, I never stealth killed, and I built characters up for what I thought whenever they released the Nightmare mode for the stealth mode. I built stealth characters thinking that I was going to, use them, and I didn't use them the way that I thought I was going to whenever Nightmare mode came out. But the police sniper rifle, was a great, love doing the stealth kills. I mean, it was a good move on.
Yeah, and I will say too that out of all these bounties, I think that's the one that's going to take people the longest to do, just because it's excessive in number. Like 200 is a lot. Some of these challenges take 100, and not only that, to get the stealth kills, you obviously have to be sneaky about it and stuff. You can't just run their guns blazing. So I think this is going to be the one that takes people the longest to get out of all of them.
All right, so we're sitting here talking. You play the game. I play the game. Do you really feel 200 stealth kills is excessive?
Not excessive in terms of killing. I'm just saying excessive in terms of the other challenges. There's only 2 challenges that are actually that high of a number. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's most of these are kill 120 this way, kill 100 this way. So what I'm saying is it's excessive in terms of the other challenges, because the only other one that you have to kill anywhere close to 200 is the hatchet, which you have to kill 240.
All right. So for us guys and girls that game like this on State of Decay, would you want the challenges like the stealth kills? We got 200 on that one. I don't feel that's excessive, man. I would love to see later on, which I don't know what Cash Beaumont is going to bring later, but I would love to see some achievements 200, 500. Like what we were talking earlier with the G26 pistol, the 9mm 10-round mag, you achieve by killing 9 bloaters with pistols. Come on, dude. Shooting 9 bloaters with pistols, dude.
Yeah.
Nightmare mode, we'll blow through that in no time. Dude, go ahead and bump it up to 50.
Well, I think part of that, though, is, and I see what you're saying, but I think part of that is this is sort of a test trial for them, because this is them this is kind of in my eyes, this is them testing the system, because this is a new system they introduced in the game, so they probably put it lesser requirements just to kind of test the system out and see how it's working. And then I think in the future ones, they're actually going to have higher requirements because they know the system works.
That's a great point of view, man. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, let me ask you this then. So we're going to jump off the bounty broker and Cash Beaumont. The one achievement that I felt was excessive was the daybreak one, where you run up into level 6 with firing no guns. Did you get that one, or?
Yes.
You got it. No kidding. Holy
I'm 100% of the game,
cow.
so I have everything.
Dude, that is awesome. How did you, I'm sorry, this is going to be way off topic. How did you do it? I cannot, by myself with those other, AIs, I cannot, dude, I get murdered in Daybreak.
Well, are you talking about the one where you have to do no guns, or are you talking about the one that you have to go solo? Because I did them in different ways. The solo
I think it's
solo.
I think it's is it not the solo one that you got to run up to level 6?
There's 2 different ones. The solo one you have to go to level 6, yes. And there's also one you have to use no guns to level 5, which that one you can do multiplayer.
All right. This is not on what you wrote. How did you do it, man? Because I cannot. I'm struggling with this, and I want those achievements. How did you do it?
Honestly, I'm not the best person to ask on it because I've only gotten one Daybreak solo ever, and basically that was enough for me after that. So
No,
that's actually
how did you get
that's the
that
thing I'm weakest
achievement?
at. But get the achievement. Basically, it just takes some practice and knowing what guns you're best with. Like the blast rifle usually works pretty well with that,
Okay,
and using some minefields. You definitely have to use your minefields wisely and make sure you save them for the proper rounds because if you use them too early, then you
right.
won't have them for when you really need them.
I think it
So
was three.
um,
Was it three? The end of three or two? I forgot. There's a surge. I think it was three, wasn't it?
I wouldn't use them that early personally, unless you really, really have to. Like what I would do is just use one at the beginning, in the back by the tech,
Hmm.
and save your other one, and then don't use that one until round 5 is when I usually use them.
Round
So
5. Okay.
yeah.
All right, I'll try that, man. But yeah, hats off to you for getting that one, man. Jeez.
Yeah, thank you. But I mean, like I said, I'm definitely not the best guy at solo Daybreak. For that, you're going to want to look at, Fall Down Go Boom, Mr. Dart, ML Maris, Haunted GG. Those are like the type of guys you want to look at, K Sizzle as well. Those are the guys you want to look at for solo Daybreaks. I can do multiplayer Daybreak, no problem. Just solo Daybreak, I'm not the best at, but
Dude,
I
I
did do it
watched,
once.
dude, fall down, go boom, not just, oh my gosh. The amount of skill that dude puts on the sticks for State of Decay is ridiculous. I was watching some of his streams earlier, and that's a damn good player. Damn good
Oh yeah,
player.
he's amazing.
When he was taking off the no radar, no HUD, none of that.
Yeah, he does all that. Yep.
Before, yeah, dude, that was all. And to not to blow up his bubble, but he would take what people were telling him in the streams and apply it to what he was doing in the game. If somebody would ask him, just say like no revolvers, he would play no revolvers and run it till he couldn't do anymore. And I mean, that was awesome stuff. I got to watch some of his streams. I was impressed. With some good streams right there.
Yeah, he's without question one of the top 5 players in the game, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Depends on your personal view on where he lands in that, but
sure.
Personally, I'd say he's without a doubt one of the top 5.
Yeah, he did a lot of great things for State of Decay.
Absolutely, but we have some other guns to talk about.
Yep.
So we have some great assault weapons. We have the MP5 SD. This is a 9mm assault with 30 round mag, and this one you achieve by killing 25 freaks of any kind. So ferals, jugs, bloaters, any kind of freak, basically. You also have the UMP SMG. This is a 45 cal assault with 20 round mag. This one you achieve by killing 200 plague zombies at range. So I do stand correct with my earlier comment. There's actually 3 of them that you have 200 or more. So I apologize on that, but you have that one, and then the last one you have, which is probably in my opinion the best gun in this pack, is the SWAT 416, and this is an assault rifle that's a 5.56 gun, which has a 30 round mag, and this one you achieve by killing 12 plague carrots. And honestly, all 3 of these guns are great guns, but the SWAT gun, the look of it is so amazing, and it shoots really well. The sound's really great too. I think the SWAT is definitely the best gun by far of all these.
I can't comment on it. Like I said, the playthrough that I'm in right now doesn't have plague zombies, so the UMP SMG for killing 200 plague zombies at range, I don't have. And the SWAT one that you just talked about, that you said was your favorite, I don't have. Any of the ones for the plague zombies, I don't have. But anything that's a 5.56, which we're talking about the SWAT 416 now, 5.56 30 round mag, achieved by killing 12 plague hearts. Dude, I love my 5.56 and I love my 7.62s. Once I get done, once I move maps, which I think I'm going to move this one into Dread. Talking about the community that I'm in to get these, I'm going to go ahead and move it into Dread and go ahead and knock out even like you said, you did yours and you hit the 11th plague heart and you didn't have the 12th one, so you had to jump into a different community.
Yeah,
to get the
and that was
heart.
Nightmare, which Nightmare, you should always have at least 12 plague hearts in Nightmare.
I thought you were 16.
Yeah, in Nightmare, usually you're going to find like at least 14.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened with me. I guess like if this was a speed run, I would have got so lucky on it, but In this case, I got very unlucky because I needed 12. So.
Yeah.
But luckily, one of my friends in chat, Degenerate, he had one available in his game, so I had to jump in his game. But,
it's awesome.
I will say, though, if you go into Dread, just keep in mind that Dread only has about 8 or 9 play cards, so you won't be able to do it in one map in Dread.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, with swapping maps. Okay. I mean, and thanks for the tip too, because I was always thinking there was like 10. But regardless, you jump 2 maps, loot it, hit the high points.
Right.
Grab your ammo, see if you catch any good guns, and swap maps. So.
Yeah, Dread has the least amount of play cards, but they try to make them a little bit more difficult to kind of compensate for that. So.
Well, I mean, I guess I could keep it in easy mode. I mean, depending on what kind of day I've had. I mean, like I said earlier,
that works too.
It all depends on if it was a stressful day, I want to go easy mode where I can just feel like Superman. And I've got a community that's on Nightmare, and when I'm feeling like I'm not stressed out and want to enjoy the game, pop into Nightmare mode and see where my Nightmare community is at. But I'm really stoked about trying to get this SWAT 416 assault round, because
it's a sweet gun. It looks amazing.
How does it sound?
It honestly sounds great. I mean, personally, out of all the guns, I like the sound of the RC9 the best, but the SWAT is definitely second best for me. Like, the sound is really cool. I like the RC9 sound a little bit better, but the sound is really cool though.
All right. Personal question. Wayne GSG had a 5.56 in the game. Compare the GSG gun to the SWAT 416. What do you like?
I'd say the SWAT 416.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved Wayne's gun in that game. That thing was a beast. I loved when I found it. Loved the gun. So, I'll definitely have to look into that whenever,
No, honestly, I think the SWAT 416 is going to be a gun that a lot of people use, pretty frequently from now on. I think the only drawback to it is that the mag is only 30, because you obviously have things like the Prepper's AK with 75. You have the M4X2 Light with 100. So I think people might not use it just because those guns have bigger mags. But if the mag was bigger, I think the SWAT 416 would be like the new go-to weapon for a lot of people.
I agree, man. It's a great gun. Well, I'm not going to say there's easy access to it, but once you unlock it, you have the easy access to it. And I'm looking forward to trying that gun out, and the UMP SMG. And there's another one that I'm working on right.
The MP5
SD. Excuse me. I love the MP5.
Yeah, that one's nice.
The recoil on that gun is, I mean, you can blister. I mean, you can mow through some zombies. The 9mm, when you jump up into some heavier weight, like the jugs and stuff, it works just fine. But just mowing through zombies, the recoil on that MP5, love it. Absolutely love it, dude. And it looks cool too. I love the sound of that one. So I'm really looking forward to, which I've used the MP5, but I'm really looking forward to the SWAT 416 that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely a really awesome gun, and I haven't got to use this one that much yet, but I do have to shout out, a little bit the UMP SMG, because I don't really know why, but in State of Decay, I tend to be partial to the 45 cal guns a little bit. I just kind of like using the 45 cals. So.
No kidding, really?
Yeah. I enjoy them. So
why do you like the UMP SMG?
I haven't got to use it that much to really say too much about that one specifically, but one of my favorite guns in State of Decay, my second favorite gun in the whole game, is the RTX Piranha, which is a 45 cal. So I just love the look and feel of that gun, and I love how it shoots, and I think that gun is what made me fall in love with the 45 cals. So now every time I see a 45 cal, I'm like, ooh, 45 cal, let me take this.
Nice, man. See, when the Prepper's AK-47, the weight issue, or not issue, but the weight versus the amount of mag or rounds you get, I constantly keep trying to find that Prepper's, because the weight versus the amount of bullets I get, and it's 7.62. When I gear my characters up, I've still not died. I don't have that achievement.
I can't say that. I definitely died. So
when I gear my characters up, I literally go out like I don't want any excuses other than I messed up and they killed me.
Right.
Side note, when State of Decay Yoast came out, Year One Survival Edition, I was a moderator on Xbox.com, and they asked me to stream State of Decay Yoast. It was a week early, so I got my copy, and I died. It was a 4-hour stream, and I died. Jacob Ritter. I was out in, if I say the Fields of Death, do you know what the Fields of Death are in the,
I don't recall it, right now.
Okay. When, if you're playing Heartland and not Carlos, what's the guy that, reappeared in Heartland? It's in
Ray
the
Santos?
Ray Santos. Okay. If you're going from, cutting through the fields there, going up to Ray Santos' place, if you had your, trucker, Snyder's Trucking Warehouse, right? You're in the big base. You're cutting through the fields going up to Ray Santos' place in Heartland. Those fields right there, I always called the Fields of Death because of Zombie Kitty Cross Seas. He always called those the Fields of Death because it was just horrendous for dying.
Right.
And so I'm in this 4-hour stream and Jacob Ritter dies. I'm trying to get to the car. I had a feral or two, unprepared, and I'm in this stream and Jacob Ritter dies. So I've got all these viewers from Xbox. I'm on their stream, right? The game's not released. So they're watching me die. And ever since that point in my life, I was like, dude, I'm not going out with nothing less than the best I can get. And that's why I always run the 7.62. So all these people saw me lose Jacob Ritter on State of Decay Yoast.
But I mean, all those people watching you, most of those people are going to die too. So, I wouldn't.
I know, dude, but it was like for people like you and at that time Big Ed and Red Monkey, over in the UK that were watching me play. I'm like, dude, I died. I don't.
Trust me, a lot of us die. I mean, there's barely anyone in the community that hasn't died. Like,
I know, man, but
I could name basically every streamer in the community and all of them have died. So
I know, but it's not like Fall Down Go Boom where they were putting restrictions on him. I get that. Okay, if you're putting restrictions on a player that can't, dude's a wizard on the game, but there was no restrictions on me. The only, which I'm not going to sit here and say this or that, but it was a brand, like I'd never played Yoast. It wasn't even out yet. So I'm playing a brand new State of Decay because your timing is off from the jump of the ferals and all this other stuff. I didn't have a community built up and died. It's like I said, it's years later and I still sit here and think about losing Jacob Ritter in the Fields of Death and I'm like, I'm not doing it, dude. I'm going out.
I do understand how you feel because I mean, there's a character called Gino that I lost, fairly early on in my playing that I'm still kind of upset about because I use one of my favorite characters. So
yeah, man.
It does stick with you. Yeah. So
I mean, it's the great thing about State of Decay is I lost Cash Edmonds. He was the cursed cop. Do you remember the cursed cop in the original State of Decay? When I say cursed cop, there's a trait that was a leadership and leadership reflexes.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Cursed cop, lost him, and dude, it crushed me. I was like breakdown level. I wasn't that high up. I think I was in my 20s or 30s, and just got stupid and lost him right outside of not Snyder's Trucking Warehouse. What was the tree fort down the road? Savini's. I was at the Savini's, the bridge there, right in front of Savini's, and Farrell jumped out, got me, and I lost Cash Edmonds, and dude, I ended up quitting that community. I was going on a leaderboard run at the time. I was trying to get over 1 million on breakdown, which I eventually got, but I ended up quitting.
Congrats.
Thanks. I ended up quitting that community because I lost Cash Edmonds. I mean, it hurt, dude. We're talking years later. Grown ass man. Like, Yeah, I lost Cash. Oh,
That's the beauty of State of Decay, though. I mean, that permadeath, it really gets to you. So I do appreciate that.
It's a great thing about the game, man. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
It's a game that we love, and I'm glad that they still do that. So, what's somebody else that do you have anybody else that you lost that you still think about?
I mean, Gino is a big one. I'd say besides him, not anyone that had the same impact. I don't think I've come close to losing a couple of my really important characters. Like my favorite character I have is Taylor, and my second favorite is Willard. And I've come close to losing them before, but I haven't actually lost them. So,
what's their fifth trait?
Willard has auto mechanics, and Taylor has plumbing.
Dude, my plumbing character, love it because that 20%,
that 2070, yeah, that's
dude,
awesome.
Is that not huge? It's
I had to have that.
It's so underestimated to get that extra 20% for plumbing, and you get the latrine bonus too. Yeah, plumbers are awesome.
Yeah, see, I don't think I've seen many people in the community actually use plumbing at all, but I love plumbing.
Dude, it's one of my favorite characters. The girl that I've got right now has a ponytail. She's dark hair. She's kind of cute. Got the overalls. Of course, I'm Southern, and she's got the overalls, kind of camo overalls. Yeah, that's my girl right there. I don't actually know her name though.
Well, you'll have to learn at some point then.
Yeah.
But getting back to our ranged weapons, though, we have one more to talk about. We have the shotgun that's in this pack, and that's the Police M590A1 shotgun. This is takes 12 gram shotgun shells, obviously. It's 7 in one shotgun, and you get it by shotgunning 100 Zeds. So this one I thought was a really fun challenge. So you just go around, especially since I did it in Nightmare. With the team I had with me, we all did it in Nightmare. We were just going around the game with shotguns, just making a ton of noise, and it definitely made things hairy for us. I will say that because obviously all that noise with all those shotguns, it draws a lot of zombies in. So
did you stream that one? I'll have to go watch that one.
Yep, I streamed it. Yep.
Do you, off the top of your head, not to put you on the spot, do you know which episode that was, or can you send me a link to that one later? Because I'd actually like to watch that in Nightmare.
Yeah.
Because that's
crazy.
On
Tuesday stream, so
that's
it's going to be like the second to last one I did this week.
That's not something that you go do in Nightmare.
It's not supposed to be done, but we managed to get out of there.
Who was? I apologize. Go ahead.
I was going to say at one point we had Juggernauts chasing us, and we basically kind of aborted mission. We're like, all right, abort mission, back to the outpost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went back to the outpost. We re-geared up at the outpost, and we went back over and killed the Juggernauts.
I'd like to watch that because, like, that's one of the reasons. Which I like to jump subject, the flare option to call in for help. I don't mind to call in for help if it's the friends that I know, if it's my State of Decay community. But I don't want to call some random in there who is gonna. Like, say, when me and my son play, he'll bust through doors, break through windows, and this and that. And I'm like, that's fine in regular mode. But if you start doing that in Nightmare mode, you're going to lose.
Depends, how good your team is, I guess. I mean, because, like, for example, in speedruns and stuff, people still jump through windows and everything. You just got to know what you're doing, I guess. But, in most cases, I would say it's a bad idea. But,
well, those 4 guys or girls, you're in there with your group. When I say you shoot that flare up, I didn't want to bring someone in, some random
right
that doesn't know how I play. That's what I'm going to do. If I'm in there with a group of 4, like how you play or Fall Down, Go Boom, I don't worry about the window or the door. I worry about if I shoot that flare up and someone random comes in. They don't know.
That makes sense, yeah.
They don't know how to run the sticks. I'm not going to lose a character. I honestly don't want that achievement. And, I won't play. I'm that sensitive about playing Nightmare that I don't want to play Nightmare with any randoms.
No, I definitely understand it because, Coconut Kid, who I talked about, who was on my team, he's only ever lost one character. And for the longest time, he never lost one. But, once Nightmare came out, he actually lost one in Nightmare, and it was basically due to a freak situation with the bloater that he basically died through the bloater. So
And that's the random thing about Nightmare that people don't understand. The game is easy, okay? When you add a bloater to that hairy situation that is normally easy, that random bloater that comes in and gets you, dude, that bloater is, or you take that armored Zed. If you're sitting there popping them off at range, and then all of a sudden that one armored Zed that makes you go to melee, it's the one armored Zed, it's the one bloater that gets you. It's not the Juggernaut or Feral. Yes, they kind of execute the in motion, but it's that one random bloater, that one random armored Zed that messes your whole thing up, and then all of a sudden you're in a world of hurt. And that's why
Absolutely.
That's why I won't do Nightmare with some random gamer.
I mean, the scariest thing in Nightmare for me though is the feral packs. 3 ferals at once, like that's rough.
It is, but I mean, you kind of get accustomed to it. I mean, it's kind of like when you were running Breakdown in level 40s or 50s. I mean, you get accustomed to how you're doing. It's not that the random 3, if you only had to do 3 ferals, you're perfectly fine. I know you are.
Right.
But
it's just 3 at the same time. Yeah.
The 3 at the same time. Both of us can handle 3 ferals. No problem.
Right.
When you throw in that random bloater or that random armored Zed with those 3 ferals, that's when it goes downhill real quick. 3 ferals aren't that bad. Even 3 jugs wouldn't be that bad. But when you add
it honestly depends on your characters too. Because I mean, if you have gunsling, like even the pack of ferals isn't that bad with gunsling. But a lot of my characters don't have gunsling.
Really?
I use weapon handling instead. So yeah, I'm a big weapon.
Dude, all my characters have gunslinging.
I'm a big weapon handling guy. So
no kidding. See, I'm a straight gun. This will probably be broadcasted, but I went on my son's account and I went on my wife's account, all their SOD accounts, over the weekends, and I would buy up all the gunslingings. I would go on my son's account and I would buy up all the gunslingings on his over the weekend, and then I would get it to my main group, and I would get on my wife's account and buy up all the gunslingings over the weekend when the traders would come in. Then I'd send them to my main group to make sure that I've got a surplus of gunslinging books, but that's over 3 accounts, so it might be a little excessive.
Yeah, that's a bit much, but
yeah,
at least you have a lot of them, though. So
yeah.
No, I mean, I definitely understand the benefits of gunsling. Just, I always like the benefits of weapon handling because I mean, weapon handling, I'm never gonna have to worry about jam guns. I can just unjam it in the field. So, that's always been a, kind of a big debate between the two, I think, and I always kind of steered towards weapon handling personally. But I definitely understand the gunsling.
That's awesome, man. Do you, whenever you're searching a map, do you put an outpost close by to try to kind of surplus all your stuff in? I mean, you keep, like, if we get I'm getting Heartland and the regular game mixed up. Is it 6 or 7 for the regular game of outposts we can get? I think it's 6, isn't it?
You can get up to 7, but you need the special Red Talon hacker.
Okay, so do you keep the 7th outpost for a random one? Like, when I run my communities, I try to make sure that I don't have any negatives, that I have my food coming in, my meds coming in, ammo, all that stuff, and then I keep a spare outpost that I can put up at any time. Do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, usually what I do, like, I don't do it like that. I usually have it built, but I usually have one outpost that's like my teardown one where I just tear it down and build a new one. So, like, I always have it pre-built, but I'm like, oh, well, I don't need these beds right now. Let me just tear this down. Yeah.
I actually got, when I was using the builder, I guess it's a cheat. When you clear the play cards out, the second to last mission where you cycle the characters, I actually got a community that needs no beds.
That's solid, yeah. I've had some of those characters before. That's solid.
I've got, when the Red Talent people came out initially, the ones that didn't have any bad traits, I've got a community with Red Talent, which is not a lot of them. I think it's like 3 or 4, but it's still a lot because they cost so much back then. But I've got, well, they'll waste materials, or there was a trade in there where they would waste materials or waste ammo or meds, but that was all of the wastage that they had, not like the later Red Talent community. But I've got a community that needs no beds, and it is absolutely a dream I actually think I make 2 beds, 12 people. And it's
especially a lot of those red talents do have a lot of great skills like that where they can help with things like that.
It's I'm on day 176 now, I think, on that community. I've not turned that one in. I've got my lifer community, which is probably the one I'm most proud of. That needs, like, I can go to any map and pick any base and not need any beds whatsoever. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't have a long-standing one anymore because I basically destroyed all my communities to play it under trials a lot. So,
I bet, dude.
I have my legacy characters though, so I still have my characters. Just I don't have the communities like built like it's over 100 days. Like I think my highest right now is like day 7 because I destroyed my community so much. But
that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So let me ask you this: whenever you were first started playing State of Decay, and I'm talking brand new, who did you watch anybody on YouTube?
I think one of the first people I watched actually was ML Maris. So he was one of the first ones I watched on YouTube. I watched him a little bit, and I watched Archie Games Cast and Mr. Stainless. They were the first 3.
Who was that? Mr. Stainless?
Yes.
I don't know that one. I'll have to look into that. I would like to give a shout out to Red Monkey overseas that I really do want to make the podcast. Love you, man. It was always a pleasure watching you game. Red Monkey. Love him. And I really do hope one day that I do get to fly across seas and cook you some barbecue, man. I've not figured out a way to do it yet, Red, but I promise you it is in the back of my mind. I'm going to get over there and cook you some barbecue eventually.
Yeah, I like to go barbecue too, so, hopefully.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's on, dude. What kind of, when people talk about barbecue, over the United States and other places, when you say barbecue, some people think of barbecue as grilling. And here in the South, we think of barbecue as smoking, where we use wood, no lighter fluid.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what my favorite is, and I'm assuming you probably make this, but I like pulled pork a lot. That's my favorite.
I can nail pulled pork.
Nice.
Got to spend a week with a 5-time world champion, over 250 grand championships.
Oh, wow.
Myron Mixon, he runs Jack's Old South, and the wife and I got to spend ample amount of time at his house learning how he did competition barbecue. And hat goes off.
I didn't even know they did like competition barbecue. That's cool.
Oh, dude. Memphis in May and Kansas City are the 2 largest barbecue competitions. I'm going to guess in the world. There may be some overseas that I don't know about, but Memphis here in Tennessee and Kansas City are the 2 largest. There's over, we travel to Memphis every year. There's over 500 barbecue teams down there competing for, and I'm guessing it's over $1 million now. And I've tasted, we go down, some of Jack's Old South members are from Tennessee. Most of them are from Georgia. But Bill Wheeler is I'm going to say a good friend of mine. We go down to Memphis in May and get to taste what they turn in for competition. Like the biggest barbecue competition in the world, we get to taste what they turn in from whole hog.
That must be awesome food.
It's a different world, man. And it's why I'm so strict on actually what I do here. I don't serve crap. I won't. If it's bad, I won't serve it. Like if you came over and me and you're hanging out back and I didn't do the ribs right, you won't taste those. I'll grab another rack. Which we do multiple racks. We do multiple pulled pork and this and that. So how do you do your pulled pork?
Oh, I don't even do it because like I wouldn't even know where to start. So basically for me, I just have it at restaurants and, I'm sure that's not as great as, what they do down there. So.
Oh, dude, listen, if you and your wife make it down to Carolinas, swing through East Tennessee, come down and see me for a couple hours. I'll have it ready for you. You can do cause I mean, it'll be a little bit out of your way. I'll have it to where you can come to the house. I'll have it ready when you pull in the driveway and y'all can leave and not miss too much time and still get good barbecue.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
I mean, and if you want to hang out for 15, 20 minutes, that's fine too. I'm not trying to push you out the
No,
door.
I hear you.
I'm just saying it's a little ways,
Right.
you're talking about an hour or so. So if you got that time, dude, let me know, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks. I mean, I've had what I think is decent pulled pork around here, but it's probably nothing like what you get there. So,
Well, I mean, it varies, man. It's like out west they do a lot of tri-tip, and we don't do tri-tip here in the South. I mean, we do whole hog and pulled pork and brisket. Like, Texas is known for brisket. Brisket's my favorite, and dude, I can nail a brisket every time I do it. Been doing brisket for a little over 10 years now, so.
Awesome.
Brisket's my favorite. I mean, pulled pork's good too, but I do pulled pork
Absolutely.
with no barbecue sauce. And it's still, people are like, I do not see how you make it without adding barbecue sauce. It's so good. And I'm like, yeah, let me get my barbecue sauce so you can add to it. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. But I put barbecue sauce on the side because you don't need it with the way we do barbecue here. But that's all.
Well, I'll definitely have to try it sometime. But
that's all from
we should
Jack's.
Probably get back on track a little bit though.
Yep. All right. Sorry, man. All right.
It's all good.
SWAT 416 assault 5.56 30 round mag achievement by killing 12 play cards.
Yes, which we talked about that one already, but we didn't talk about yet is the melee weapons. So we can run through the melee weapons real quick.
Sure.
And, there's 3 blunt weapons for that. There's the military riot club, which this one you get by killing 100 plague Zeds in melee. We have the metal nightstick, which this one you get by killing 60 Zeds with bludgeons. And you have the police riot club, which you get by by killing 10 hordes. And the last melee weapon is the high angle rescue hatchet. This is a bladed weapon, and this one you get by killing 240 Zeds with blades. So, I'm not sure if you noticed much, but between the riot club, the metal nightstick, and the military riot club, I didn't really notice a ton of difference between those 3 weapons. They all seem kind of similar to me, but I did enjoy playing with them.
I think it's the look, man. You got the riot club, the nightstick, and then the police riot club. And I think it's just the look and the feel for the character that you're playing.
I think it might be right, because, I mean, the stats-wise, I think they're all about the same, I think, stats-wise.
Yeah, I agree. But I think it's for, like, say, if you're a police officer that plays the game, you kind of want the police riot club. You want that one character that kind of resembles yourself. And
right.
If you were in the military, you kind of want the military one for killing 100 plague Zeds, which I've not done. I have done the police riot one for killing 10 hordes, but the riot club is one of the other ones that I hadn't done because I hadn't swapped maps yet for the plague zombies. I've seen the look of it, but I've not seen it actually like on a character. I mean, because Cash Beaumont gives the icon where you can kind of see it. So
yeah, you can kind of see the style of it a little bit. Yeah.
So what was your opinion on the high angle hatchet? I loved it personally.
The high angle rescue hatchet. I'm going to go on record as saying it is instantly one of the top 5 melee weapons in the game.
Yep.
Instantly.
I agree.
Like it's instantly up there. I mean, this weapon, the stats on that thing are crazy good, and like you can't really compete with it. I mean, there's some weapons in the game, yes, you can compete with it. Like if you're talking, your katanas maybe, or maybe your I'm blanking on the name, but
talking about the Echo, which the durability on those are low, but
yeah, the Echo, that's pretty good. But I'm blanking on the name, but that really good one that everyone loves. I can't believe I can't think of it right now, but
you're talking about the edged weapon.
Yeah.
The Balewood.
There you go, Bastard Bellewood. Yeah.
The
Bastard Bellewood.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one I was blanking on. Thanks. But,
yep.
That one definitely competes with it a lot. But besides really high grade weapons like that, this is absolutely in the top 5 weapons for melee. And I just love using this weapon. I didn't get to play it as much as I want yet, but I think this one I'm probably going to buy like 3 copies of just to have them in my locker.
No doubt, man. I already bought 2. Whenever I unlocked it, I bought 2 just for.
I didn't buy 2 yet, but I'm probably going to buy like 3 copies and be like, I'm just going to use my hatchet. Okay, this one's not broken. I'll use the max hatchet.
And, on a side note, I'd like to see them do more, like that Balewood, the Hangle rescue hatchet. I would like to see a different variety of edged weapons that are really close in stats So all our characters don't, like, when they came out with this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of the top 3 bladed weapon, or top 5 bladed weapons. And it kind of gives a different variety to my characters. And even with guns, I would like to see them do that, where you have, like, say, the SWAT 416 assault 30-round mag, killing 12 plague hearts. That kind of competes with the Wayne GSG 5.56. When all my characters were running the GSG gun, I kind of want to see, they don't all have to be the same, but I would like a different variety of the same stats on different melee weapons and guns, if that makes sense. So all my characters aren't carrying a prepper's AK-47. Give me another gun that kind of
like different skins kind of thing.
Yeah, just like a different skin, but kind of has, it can lessen some, but if it lessens too much, then I'm going right back to my prepper's AK, or I'm going right back.
No, I definitely understand that too, and that's why, like, I know a lot of people might not love this gun as much as I do, but that's part of why I love the RTX Piranha so much, because it has that really cool, sleek red talon look to it with the red stripes on the side of it. And I love the way it sits on your character's hip. Like, to actually have that gun, sitting on your character's hip like that, like, it looks really cool on the side of them. So, like, the look of that gun, the skin, is what makes it one of my favorite weapons. Like, I understand that it's not, stats-wise, it's probably not one of the top weapons in the game, but just the look of it makes me want to use it even more.
See, I loved when they came out with these ranged weapons on this DLC. They look amazing.
Absolutely.
Love. I mean, even from, like, if you go down the line, the G34 pistol, the MP5, the backup Bossy, the G26, the police.
And wait till you get that SWAT in your hands.
Dude, I've not even got there yet. I've not even got to look at that one yet. And I'm like, these things look so good. Give me a little bit more like this that I'll use on my characters. And I'm not trying to knock the RC9 police carbine rifle. It's the 9mm. 17-round mag done by killing the screamers, 10 or a dozen. So give me that same look with something with some 5.56 or 7.62. But when I say that, I also know Brant is such a good dude on nailing what these things look like. The authenticity of this, they really do research on these guns.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I was going to say too, is that you talk about, like, not wanting to be 9mm, but I don't know a lot about real world guns personally. So, like, that might be because maybe the RC9 maybe is really a 9mm gun in real life.
It is.
Might be why.
No,
okay,
I mean,
it is okay.
They do so much research to nail, like, the weight and get it right for the game. And it's a 9mm, and it's got a 17-round mag, real life. And hat goes off to them for that. And but I would either like to see, I don't know, I don't want to keep all my characters having the Prepper's AK-47, or, like when they came out with that SWAT 416, like I said, it competes with the Wayne GSG now, and my characters kind of have a little different look for when they run the 5.56 rounds. And
right.
I want to see, like when they came out with the Rescue Hatchet, which the Rescue Hatchet, those stats can be varied, because who's to say what a hatchet can and cannot do? I mean, when you're messing with, like,
true.
RC9 9mm round, authenticity, it's a 9mm gun, so you can't change the stats that much, because then it's like, what do you. So.
That's a good point, actually, yeah, because melee weapons, you can pretty much make any stats you want.
Exactly. But I'd like to see, like, more high-angle rescue hatchets and, things that compete with the bale wood and the, so all my characters aren't running the same thing.
It would be kind of cool, actually. You know how, like, the revolver can't jam and things like that? It'd be kind of cool if we actually had it'd probably have to be a blunt weapon, but a blunt melee weapon that is unbreakable. Like, it can't break.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And, when you think about it, they could physically do something like that would, kind of bring blunt weapons back a little bit. Because, like I said, I find myself going towards swordplay.
Right.
And the edged weapons.
The only thing I'll say, I'm, like, again, kind of countering myself on that, is that it might make the game a little bit too unbalanced if you have a melee weapon that can't break. So like,
Yep.
I do kind of counter myself there. I'm like, wait, maybe I should hesitate on that. But
I
like,
agree.
pie in the sky idea, it sounds cool, but I'm not sure in practice how good it works.
Well, I totally agree now that you say it, man, because then you take out the bolts. Why do you
Right.
need bolts then? I mean, what are you repairing? I mean, you may make some supplies or something in your base, but the majority of my bolts go to repairing my melees and repairing my guns. Then if you take that aspect out of the game, like what you were talking about, I mean, what are you stuck with? So
Right.
I totally agree, man. It's a good point.
And I will say with that high angle rescue hatchet too, it's very minor, but one of my only negative comments about this update is that with that weapon, like that hatchet is it's honestly hands down the best weapon in this entire pack, and the fact that it's instantly in the top 5 weapons of the game, like, I mean, this is obviously what we're saying, but like, if you really look at the stats, like if you look at the stats hardcore, I mean, it is definitely in the top 5. And the fact that it's that good, I wish the challenge to get it would have been a little bit harder because killing 240 Zeds, okay, that's a decent amount of Zeds, but all you have to do is kill 1 blades. So, I mean, that's basically what we all do, on a Saturday night every night. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'd like to see them, kind of bump that up a little bit. And that's, kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the stealth kills, which I hadn't gone back and done many stealth kills up until now, but
right.
I think, what was it, 200 or how many stealth kills was that?
200, yes.
Yeah. It's kind of high, but to the real, I hate to, not real SOD players, but kind of struggle with that because I don't want to try to label too many people, but I'd like to see that, escalated a little bit. I mean, make it 400. I don't want everybody to, well, I mean, I want everybody to experience the hatchet, the rescue hatchet. But then again, I kind of want it to be just, a little bit more.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying too. Is like the rest of them, I'm fine with, the challenges being the way they are because I think part of this was like kind of testing the system. Just the hatchet is the only one that, like, as good as the hatchet is, I think the challenge could have been a little bit harder for that one specifically. Like maybe instead of just killing 240 Zeds with blades, make it kill 240 CQC. Like that's a little bit harder at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it ramps up the difficulty a little bit where, novice players, they could do it if they grind it out. But it at least makes it a little bit more difficult where it's going to be a little bit more challenge. And it's going to feel like more of a reward to get that weapon.
I agree. I totally agree, man. And like I said, it's like you kill, like the police shotgun, 100 Zeds with a shotgun, dude. Come on.
It's fun though. It's fun in Nightmare.
Well, like I said, I gotta go back and watch your episode on that because I'd really love to see that in Nightmare. But I'll be honest, just between me and you and whoever's listening to the podcast, I ain't doing 100 Zeds with a shotgun in Nightmare. I'm going to easy mode to do that one. So
fair enough.
I'm excited to see what your episode brings. So, and I may try it. I don't know. We'll see.
And I will say the stealth kills too. Just to get it done faster, we sort of cheated a little bit on that one. Like we didn't actually go up to every zombie, like and sneak behind him and kill him. What we actually did is we ended up stealth killing with shooting a lot, and that's how we got a lot of our kills. So
really, I didn't know.
Yeah.
See, I picked a red talent person, which it was in my main community of 170 some odd days. And of course I've got 3 or 4 red talents in there, and I was using those because they had the sneak fast run. And
right.
I was, when one would get tired, I just grabbed the next one, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, dude. Loved that one.
Which that probably helps too. See, I did it with regular characters that weren't red talents. So.
Okay. And see,
but it was kind of funny because at some points what we did is we got on top of a car, right? We had a horde around us, and I crouched down on top of the car and just shot all the zombies around me. So.
See, I would throw a thing of firecrackers and let them get distracted by that. Of course, this was in easy mode.
Right.
Throw the firecrackers, let them get distracted, and just run up and just start blistering all of them, which you don't get that many in easy mode, but, it was fun doing that stealth kill.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if they intended that to work that way where you could just crouch and shoot them all. I'm not sure if they intended that to be something you could do or couldn't do, but for me, like the goal was to get all the challenges done in a 4-hour stream, and basically that's why I ended up doing it that way. I'm like, well, we want to get these done within the 4 hours. This is our challenge, so that's
Yep.
the only way to get it done that fast. So.
Yep, got to do it, man, because it was a couple days for me, honestly.
Yeah, so like I know personally, like getting it done, like sneaking up behind zombies, I could definitely do that with 200 zombies. Just it would take me a lot longer.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. For like 4-hour stream, like what you did it on, yeah, like I said, it was. I'd use the pause button a lot and come back, cook, let the dog out, come back, kill some more zombies. I mean, it was a lot of fun for me. So
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. So thanks again to Court Zombie and Danger, and then DGen coming in for that last play card too. So it was definitely a lot of fun running with those guys.
yeah, dude, you need to send me their Twitter so I can follow them on Twitter. Because I may be following some of them, but I need to make sure I follow those people.
Yeah, I think some of them don't have Twitter actually, but the ones that do, I'll try and get to.
Oh, that'd be great, man. I'd love to follow people like that. Anybody in the SOD community, though, I love to follow because I'm infatuated with the community.
So do you agree with me though that the hatchet is definitely the best weapon out of the whole pack, or do you think that one of the ranged weapons better, or what?
As far as what I've not unlocked the Plague Heart one, so I've not got a chance to do the SWAT 416 and the UMP 45 cal. The hatchet, yeah, because like I said, I was a huge edged weapons person, and as of right now, with not unlocking the Plague, and actually the shotgun, I have the shotgun left, and I've got the Plague Hearts, or the Plague Zombie ones done, or two do. Love the angle. I've got to say, yeah, because it just reigns supreme. But, I also like the CQC weapons too, because, those weapons don't have the stats. So,
right.
Even though I like my karambit for obvious reasons, but I like to have that different variety on my characters and not have to worry about, how far the stats are falling. I'd actually like to see the, echo weapons with a little more durability. The melee, like the swords and the edged weapons.
That's fair. I mean, I do enjoy them, but they probably could use a little bit more of that.
Well, my only drawback to that is, I mean, you start running into nightmare mode and you start blazing through some zombies. All of a sudden, your weapon durability goes down. You cannot fight a lot of things in nightmare like that. You have to keep a backup weapon on you. And I'm not saying a lot. I'm just that durability on those I'd like to see come up just a little bit. Not too excessive, but enough to where I can take on a couple hordes and, then run back.
See, I'm glad you said what you did too, because I do the same exact thing. If I have a weapon that doesn't have a lot of durability, I always bring a backup with me as well. Yeah. That way, in case it breaks on the run, you're like, if you're on the road and it breaks, well, at least you have a backup weapon with you.
Yep. And I just like the only reason why I say it on the echo weapons, I love the looks of them. I love the looks of the melee weapons.
Yeah, the look is awesome.
But now that the high angle rescue hatchet is out there, honestly, man, I'm leaning towards, this last update, high angle rescue hatchet all the way, dude. I mean, it's a beast. I mean, I agree. It's one of the top things in the DLC.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember the weight offhand. I don't know if you do, but the weight isn't that bad either. Like, it's not like a huge amount of weight. So
I don't remember the weight issue. I'm going to guess it was probably 4 or 6 pounds because that's about where, things.
I would say it's more than that though, just because it's a beefed up weapon. Mm-hmm. So it's probably. I'd say it's probably more in the 10-pound range. But I honestly can't remember.
I have to look. It didn't. I'll put it like this: it was strong enough to where it didn't bother me.
Exactly, yeah.
The characters I was running it on, it didn't bother me the weight on it. So,
well, like in comparison, like you have the Clio Battle Axe, for example, from Daybreak, which is a great weapon, but the weight on it, makes it hard to use it in the regular game.
22 or 24 pounds.
Yeah, 22 pounds. So it makes it hard to use in the regular game.
I'd love to use it, but I'd like to see that weight issue kind of drop down to it's a huge weapon. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it to be too overpowered, but maybe like the 12 or 15 pound instead of 22.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, because like in Daybreak it works great, but when you bring it into the regular game, then you get that weight because in Daybreak you don't have the weight issues. Like you can carry as much as you want.
Yep. And I'd like to see, you know, like even those, because these are Clio weapons, okay? If we're talking about the battle axe, the Clio weapons are not real weapons. Drop that weight down just a little bit and make us want to use those. You know what I mean? Just kind of like the battle axe. Drop the weight down a little bit, but still make it excessive because it's a Clio weapon, just not too excessive. And it's kind of like what they did even with this update here, where they backed down on the Daybreak characters, where they fixed some of the
they fixed some of it. Yep.
They fixed some of the
negative
traits. Yeah, which, you know, I kind of liked them when they first came out. People were hollering that they were overpowered, and yeah, they were overpowered for the regular game. You stick one of those overpowered people in the Nightmare mode, no, sorry. It's a good character in Nightmare mode. They're not overpowered in Nightmare mode. A little bit, okay, yeah, they were, but, you know, it all depends on which mode I think you play, though.
That's true, yeah. I mean, it really depends on what mode you're playing, you know, what play style you have, so it depends on a lot of things, and I think that's where a lot of, like, the voices in the community get, you know, tangled, is, like, a lot of people have much different play styles, they're playing in different modes and stuff, so one person might think one thing because they're playing in standard, but then another person's playing in Nightmare and they think something different. So, like, it kind of, you know, it's hard to cross those streams sometimes, I think.
But, you know, Undead Labs is doing a great job at that, though. I mean, they listen to the community.
Absolutely. I agree.
They came on those characters. They put some negative traits in there. It was a little excessive. So now they're backing it back down. And, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, they're doing what we ask. And in my opinion, like I said earlier, I don't see any other company doing it. So my hat comes off to them for listening to the community, staying involved with it, still producing good content, like the content that we got here, the Cash Beaumont, the bounty system. And I think it's a great, you know, or the bounty broker, sorry. They're still doing what we ask. And it's just a great thing, man. I can't say enough good things about them.
Kind of in closing on Cash Beaumont and the Bounty Broker, I will say too that they have said that if they put any like future packs into this bounty system, what probably will end up happening is like the critical response pack that we have now, that will probably move over to what the World War II weapons are. Basically, like eventually the critical response pack, you could probably just buy it like the World War II weapons, and then the new pack would actually be the new bounty pack. That makes sense. So, like, yeah, so I actually like that because, like, based on the World War II weapons, the reason why you can just buy them right now instead of doing bounties is because they've already been out for a while. So once the critical response pack has already been out for a while, I kind of like that idea where it kind of moves over to like, all right, now you can purchase this, but now there's a new pack you have to do bounties for.
Well, you know, you run which I play on Xbox, you run the left and the right bumper to scroll over, so they may not even have to get rid of the World War II. You may, you know, which I don't know. I mean, we're totally speculating here, but
Well, I mean, they might not at first, but I think they would eventually. Like, they're not going to have 20 packs in there. Like, but so eventually they'd start to get rid of them.
Yeah, yeah. Now, let me ask you this: the pay-to-play thing, which is a huge thing on Xbox, which you're going to have some community members gripe and complain, "Oh my gosh, I'm not paying money to do this." Just between me and you, would you, if they came out with, say, like a bounty broker pack later on that had not over the top weapons, but, you know, say they had some comparable 7.62s, they had some comparable 5.56s to the most powerful guns, you know, that we run now, like the high angle rescue hatchet that we got for free, if they came out with a pack, would you pay for it?
Not only would I pay for it, I'd be willing to pay double the price they asked for it.
See, so, I'm the same way. I'm like
I want to throw money at them to like say thank you.
I'm the same way, man. I really am. I'm like, which I understand some people don't want to pay for that, but dude, I would gladly pay you $5 for, I'm not going to say I'm going to pay $5 for a high angle rescue hatchet. All right. In my opinion, it's a little excessive. But if you added like a 7.62 that was comparable to the preppers, it doesn't have to be as good as the preppers, and gave me another, like this SWAT 416 assault that we got for free.
Yeah, I'm all for paying for DLCs in the future. Like, I know Heartland, for example, if you don't have Game Pass, you had to pay for it, which I know some people are probably upset about, but like, to me, Heartland is worth paying for, so I don't see the issue. I mean,
I didn't mind one bit paying for it. Now, they already said that it's going to be a DLC like Lifeline was, which means we probably won't get to play that map. It's total speculation, but if it's going to be like Lifeline, then we didn't get to play that map in the regular game. Would you want to play Heartland? Would you want to play the old school map in your regular? Would you like to have a fourth map like Heartland?
I would like a fourth map, but I think I would like it to be something different than Heartland, just because I know how difficult it's going to be for the team to actually port that over, because there's a lot of things in Heartland that like it would be too difficult to translate over, and it would be basically starting from scratch for them. Because like, for example, in Heartland, you obviously only have one base to choose from. So in the regular game, you have multiple bases. So they'd have to basically spring a bunch of bases out of thin air, and I know that's a lot of work for them. So and they have to like recode and rework all of that. So to me, I definitely would like a fourth map, but I prefer they just use their imagination and give us a fourth map of something else.
I agree. Do you think, and this is kind of a little off topic, but still on topic, do you think in today's society that we gear towards a Amazon society where we can call up Amazon, we get it in 2 days, and the shipping comes to the house, everything's great, we've got it in a day or two? Do you think that whenever they release content like that, that's what people gripe about is, well, why can't you just produce a map and have it out in 2 days? Which I understand what you're saying. It takes a lot. You and I both understand how much time it takes to make content like what we get.
Right.
I mean, Heartland is not something that you sit down in a week and say, hey, guys, we're going to do this. It's, we'll have it out by next Friday. Here you go.
Exactly.
Do you think that we're in a society like that where they're like, I can call Amazon and get it in 2 days. Why can't you produce a map in 2 days?
Yeah, I definitely think that's part of it. I mean, I think unfortunately, there's a portion of society now that is a little bit spoiled with that, and they kind of just, want everything now, and they don't understand, it takes work to get that stuff. So.
Yeah. And, like you said, I'd like a fourth map, but you and I both understand what it would take to do a fourth map.
Right.
I mean, we're talking months. Probably years.
See, with me, like, I mean, I'm sure you're a little bit the same way. Like, in terms of what they bring to State of Decay, I'm pretty easy to please. Like, if they bring me a fourth map 2 years from now, fine, I'm cool with it. I'll wait 2 years. Like, I don't care how long it takes. Just give me whatever you have planned, and I will enjoy what you have planned.
Yep.
So.
I mean, because I gotta say, on the Daybreak, the vision on the Daybreak kind of fell off because of the grind. But as far as the vision for the game, I can't complain, on where Undead Labs takes it. I'm glad they gave us Daybreak because it I love Daybreak, but it really became monotonous after some time. After I unlocked everything and after I unlocked my characters, I still don't have the 343 waves done.
Yeah, and see, I have heard that a lot of people have that kind of opinion you have, that it is grindy, and a lot of people don't like it as much. I mean, I'm one of the few people that does really enjoy Daybreak. I think I'm up to like 65 wins at this point, but I just enjoy Daybreak. But maybe that's just me.
Oh no, I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but it's kind of like I want my community that I've been working on, and
right.
I like the change of Daybreak. But the monotonous of, and it's not even the same map. I would like the same, if I could do Daybreak on my home base, which is kind of what they did in Heartland with the uplink on the Clio stuff, where they bring in like a lot of heat to your base. I'd like to be able to do that kind of like at my base where I could still do Daybreak, if that makes sense.
No, I understand that. I mean, for me, Daybreak just ends up, it's not something I do all the time, but for me, it ends up being something that's like a break from the main game. Like,
Yes.
say, once a month, like I usually do a stream that's Daybreak. Okay, guys, today we're doing our Daybreak stream. Like, let's, knock out 4 hours of Daybreak. Let's get like 3 or 4 wins here. Just kind of like switch things up a little bit. But did you have any other thoughts about Heartland, though, before we end here?
Sure.
I think or not Heartland, but the bounty system. I think we pretty much covered everything with the bounty system.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Cash is bringing us some good stuff, and, in his fancy new outfits all the time, so.
Dude, like I said earlier, I don't know who came up with the outfits on that, but.
It's really cool, though.
Yeah, it is, man. It's kind of comical, but I don't know. When I first seen Cash, I was like, dude, they really did a good job on this, and it's free. I mean, come on. So.
Well, and as far as Cash goes, too, I mean, can you really blame the guy? Like, the guy's living out of his car. He's got to have, like, sets of clothes in there. He's got to have changes of clothes in his car.
Yep.
So, I mean, the guy's living out of his car. Like, he's got to have something in there for him.
He doesn't have a washer and dryer in there, people. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, well, why do you think that car is so stocked with stuff? Like, He's got to have, trunks of clothes. He's got to have all the guns ready for you,
I live in a van down by the river. That was old.
Well, depending what map you're in. In Cascade, he's actually at a really rough location. He's actually on top of a hill in Cascade. But
I've only played him on one map so far. Maybe I need, whenever I do my Plague Zombies, I need to swap maps instead of moving levels.
Yeah, I'd say Cascade is definitely the most difficult location because, you know where the corner office is?
Yeah.
He's basically on the hills by the corner office. Like, between the corner office and the church, that's where he's at. The hills between the corner office and the church. So, it's kind of a difficult location.
I've not done that one. I have to check that out.
Yeah, so he's basically on top of the hill, and luckily the cool thing is, if you just walk down the hill, there's basically a building you can take over as an outpost. So that's what I usually did is we just basically took over that as an outpost, and we kind of did most of the challenges right around Cash. We just kind of stuck around him a little bit.
I did the same thing, dude. I was what map? Oh, jeez, I just went brain dead. Where the hospital's right in the middle, the big hospital.
Drucker.
All right. Cash Edmonds is right down the road from the hospital. Ended up setting an outpost right there, and I really got a lay of the land. There was stuff that I didn't even know was there, and when I was running the Cash Edmonds stuff, that I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this is here. So it was great. This was a great update altogether.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it too, and I would definitely suggest you try it in multiplayer too, because trying in multiplayer is a lot of fun too. So, maybe you can get your son in there with you and try it with him or something like that. So.
Dude, I'll definitely have to try it. Like I said, I'm picky about who I go into multiplayer with. The last person I went into multiplayer with was E5, and that was on the Plague Wall, where you had to do the achievement for hosting a
multiplayer. Yeah.
Yep. And I was picky about who I brought into my game. I wanted to make sure that they had enough skills to do it because I wasn't going to die, and I get picky about who I get into multiplayer with.
I can understand that though.
Well,
and those plague walls, those plague walls aren't easy either. I love those plague walls.
Dude, that was serious. That was a lot of fun.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like, maybe they can expand on that later in the future, but, I really enjoyed that. Like the Gauntlet run. Loved it.
Yeah. The Gauntlet run was so much fun.
It was.
I loved it.
I really enjoyed it.
I will say that the first time I tackled it, like, it's kind of overwhelming. It's like, oh shit, like, what's this?
Yeah. I mean, you kind of get your pattern down and, you kind of follow through with it. I was watching some people stream on, actually, I think it was Twitch at the time, and they were getting murdered, and I jumped in, dropped them some weapons, dropped them some ammo, some firecrackers and some type of explosive grenade, and watched them beat the fourth plague wall. It was fun to watch. And I don't even know who they were, but it was fun to watch them play, though.
Hey, at least you helped them out, though. So
yeah, it was. So,
but that being said, I think we pretty much covered the bounty update, and we covered a lot of State of Decay throughout as well. So it was kind of a catch-all episode, anyway. So.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it, and we need to do it again.
Yeah, I
sometime.
appreciate it. Definitely. I would definitely love to have you back on. But, before we end, I'll just say real quick our couple of news things from the top of the show before we sign off here. And basically, after this episode you guys are hearing, I'm going to be on a break for 10 days. So you won't see me making content again until Tuesday the 20th. On Tuesday, August 20th, I'll be streaming some State of Decay from 12 to 4 Eastern. That'll be on mixer.com/Blaise XPerience. My next podcast will be on Saturday, August 24th. And that'll probably also be on State of Decay too. Depending on some scheduling, if it doesn't work out, I might just do an episode by myself on a different game. But we'll catch up with that when we get to it. And then in the meantime, you can just jump into my Discord and talk to me on my break if you want to. That'll be in the show notes. And you can also head to patreon.com/Blaise XPerience, become a patron member. If you're a $5 patron or higher, then you do get access to bonus episodes. So you can listen to some of those and hear my thoughts on different topics. Like, for example, this most recent bonus episode I did was a history of the State of Decay community events. So I talked all about Undead Trials and Decay Fest and all those, so you can kind of hear a history of that. And, that being said, if you are listening to the podcast, you probably know where to find us. But if you want to find us in other ways, you can find us on Stitcher, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, basically any podcast directory you could think of. Just search the Blaise XPerience and you will definitely find us. And if you don't like apps, say you don't want apps on your phone or something, you can just join our Discord. And in our Discord, there's actually a channel that has direct download links. And every podcast I've ever done is in that channel. So you can just hit the button and it'll directly download it to your phone or device. But Peddler, I definitely thank you for being here. If people want to get a hold of you, how can they do so? Can they find you on Twitter, or where would you want them to find you?
Twitter at PHDPeddler. On Twitter, I would like to say thanks for doing Decay Fest. My hat comes off to you, man. That was a lot of work put into that and some groundbreaking stuff. And thanks for giving back to the community for like that. So that was some great, great stuff, man. And hopefully one day, if my time, I'd love to do Decay Fest or, try to, have a little area in there for you to help you out. But just do Decay Fest was awesome. And hat comes off to you and everybody else that y'all put the time in to do that. It was some great, great stuff, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. And, back September when the thing first started, it definitely has grown from there. So, hopefully continues on.
Love it. Yeah, I'd love to see more Decay Fest. So, and whatever else you've got planned too.
Yeah, I have that new project starting up. So, hopefully I can get the first part of that done and, out to the community very soon. So
sounds
we'll
great.
See how long it takes me.
Sounds great, man. Hey, like I said, if you ever come down south, man, look me up. I'll cook for you.
Hey, I appreciate that. I got to get some of that pulled pork. So. Yeah, I'm probably going to be like, oh, wow, this is real pulled pork. It's like the stuff I was having up north. This is like crap.
No, it's all good, man. I mean, it's all different areas. So, people do like Carolina style, you got a vinegar base.
Right.
So, it's all different, but it's all good. So, as long as you put love in it, it's all going to come out good. So.
Very true. Yeah. There is one that I think is really good up here, which it's this restaurant called The Farm, and they're basically a small chain restaurant. They only have like 2 or so up here, but they make really good pulled pork. So I do like their pulled pork.
That's awesome, man. And it's kind of what I see when people sit down and eat. We don't hate each other. You know what I mean? There's no bad feelings. Everybody's sitting down eating a good meal, chatting. Food brings people together. So food's a good thing.
And State of Decay brings people together too. So,
does it not? The community's awesome.
It does.
The community's awesome. Undead Labs has done such a great deal. Shout out to Brance Fitzgerald. Thanks, man.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
Oh, I get. Yeah, maybe. So.
But yes, shout out to the entire Undead Labs team. Love you all, you guys. Everything you do for us is awesome. So, hopefully you're enjoying all the content here and all the content around the community.
And I'm going to hit up Scratch and all my people that, my old friends to make them listen to this podcast. So just let me know when it comes out so I can, Scratch, Bowski, Keezy, Full Metal, Stein, love you guys.
All right. I will definitely let you know when it comes out. It should be later today sometime. So, I'll just have to get on editing it, but
that'd be great, man. I'll do what I can to push it out there for you.
I appreciate that. But if people want to get a hold of me off the podcast, you can do so via email if you'd like, theblaisexperience@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter or my Xbox gamer tag. That's going to be at Blaise XPerience. That's capital BLAISE, capital XPERIENCE. You can find me on Patreon, as I said before. That's going to be Patreon. That's patreon.com/Blaise XPerience. You can definitely find me streaming. I stream when I'm not on break anyways. I stream 4 days a week, 16 hours at the moment, and that's going to be mixer.com/Blaise XPerience. And you can also find me on Discord, which will be in the show notes. I do technically have a Facebook and a YouTube. I just will say that I don't use those too often, so if you do try to contact me on Facebook or YouTube, I will get back to you. Just I'll get back to you slower than the other methods because I check Twitter and Discord and things like that more often. So if you try to get a hold of me on YouTube or Facebook, I will get back to you. Just it's going to be a slower process, but I definitely appreciate any support anywhere you guys want to give it. But Peddler, thank you one more time for joining me. It was definitely a lot of fun to have you on here, and hopefully people enjoy this episode.
Dude, thanks for having me on here, and thanks for, like I said, all the work that you put in for Decay Fest and even the podcast and all that stuff. So, I mean, it just makes for a great community. So,
thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you to all you the listeners as well, because, without you guys listening, I wouldn't have people to do this for. So, thank you for listening to the Blaise XPerience.